And also, it's nice to see you guys again, but why have you got me on with him?
Come on. Gabby, he was really excited to see you this morning.
It's always nice to see Gabby.
He's the only Birmingham City player that I like. And Gary Gardner as well. There's two, that's it.
He's a Birmingham legend, this fella. So.
Well, I was just going to ask, because I'm sat here, you're on my left, you're on my right, Gabby, and I'm imagining I'm in some kind of nightclub in Birmingham. I'm wondering who's got the bigger gravitas. Who's like the king? Who's got the bigger table?
The man to my left.
Yeah, of course he does.
We don't go
I
out.
know who's getting a bigger cocktail.
We don't go out to nightclubs.
Yeah. Who's getting Ali McCoy's to live a cocktail? who's getting Ali a mojito? Anyway, look, it's lovely to see you. Joking aside, we've missed you. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just getting old. As Gabby knows, you start breaking, don't you, as you get older?
Body just falling apart.
Yeah, everything's breaking, mate. Trying to keep up with these young bucks. But no, I'm currently injured. I'll be back in a short time. But feeling good. Life's good. Yeah, everything's going really well.
Great.
Back home, see the kids more now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're obviously looking after yourself, but obviously having time with the family and back in Birmingham as well. It must be, I mean, being injured is not what you want, but going back to Birmingham and being kind of in that space, is it good for you, in a good place at the moment? Yeah,
mentally, I'm in a great space, yeah. A little bit less pressure in regards to like being under the spotlight of the Premier League, and hey, look at what Lukaku's going through currently.
Yeah.
You know, we've all been there when you don't score, but now, like, when you're away from it, you're like, thank God that ain't me anymore. So I'm enjoying it. Life's good, and I get to listen to you guys in the morning.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
I love
Troy,
it.
I don't know about this fellow over here, though, but he's
I was going to say to you, mate, though, but because as a kind of well, you tell me, I'm thinking it's kind of catch-22. You're obviously where you are, and you love where you are, is fantastic. However, at the latter stages of your career, that is one competitive league, man. I mean, as I say, your Saturday, Tuesday, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unrelenting. It just keeps going, and you know, you can win on a Saturday and go, all right, we've cracked it, and then you'll lose to like second from bottom. You're like, what's happened there? Like, but it's just the turnover so much. I think we've got like 7 out at the moment, so we're playing with like right backs at centre half and wingers at right wing back, and that is it's mental. But we're ploughing on, and we just got to keep going. But as you guys know, there's probably a lot of unrest outside as well. So there's all things that we're juggling at the moment. But life's good, mate. As you know, when you go back home, it's a lovely feeling.
Now, Troy, not only are you trying to battle back from injury, doing all that sort of stuff, keeping involved with the club, this is something that I find really interesting that you're doing. So to people that are listening that don't know what you're up to at the moment, you commissioned a survey among teachers, and that's after becoming disillusioned by the government's response to public pressure to mandate more diversity on the national curriculum, and that's following the death of George Floyd. Now, the YouGov report surveyed over 1,000 primary and secondary school teachers from across Britain. You turned your attention to better teaching of Black, Asian and minority ethnic experiences within schools. So just explain to us what it is exactly that you're trying to achieve with this.
So when I think it was here, actually. I was working here with you guys. We used to have these conversations all the time. And off air, we would talk about what we want to do and how we see the world. But just with my children, really, what they're coming home and talking about, it's like, okay, well, I hear what you're saying about the Tudors, and I hear what you're saying about that, but where is that representative to you? And we've had to buy books for our children that are like Usain Bolt books or Serena Williams. You know what I mean? Like these little, the small little package books that they are. And I'm like, why aren't they in schools? Why should we have to be going to Selfridges to buy them? Do you get what I mean? They should be on the library, should be accessible for everyone. So when we did the taking of a knee, what was that, 2 years ago now? I always said then it was about more, and I feel like we have these little moments. So if you take Raheem Sterling when he got abused at Chelsea, it was like, racism's bad, we've got to do something, then it drops off, and this is really bad, we've got to do something. So I just want like some substance. So I did some research into it. In Wales, it's mandated that it's across the curriculum. It's like a framework to work off, but you have to learn about everything. So like my 7-year-old currently is learning about relationships, learning about like same-sex marriages and things of that nature. That's great. That's where the world has moved towards. We should also be allowed to learn about your history and who you are, whether that be English, Irish, Jamaican, Indian. It doesn't matter. You should be able to have that, and that's what we're working towards. And I've done this open letter, and it's been received pretty well. And yeah, that's just me. I just want to try and help a little bit.
What happens now? Do you have to?
We've got a petition now.
Yeah,
we've got a petition now that we need to get 100,000 signatures on, and then it can be discussed. But thankfully, the Education Minister's already reached out on Twitter last night and said he'd love to have a conversation. And that's what it's all about, having a conversation. We talk about, let's talk about the Kurt Zouma situation recently. Everyone says we need education, but what's the education? Where's the substance behind it? We just say things. Let's actually do something.
Troy, she likes it. You talk about the boys you're taking the knee before games. Do you think, I don't know how to word this, do you think run its course a little bit? Do you think it's had the necessary effect that it should have had? And do you think it's time to move on from that and do something else in terms of the education of it? Or are you quite happy to see the guys continue to do it? Or do you think it should be a personal choice?
I think we've moved. I think it's always been a personal choice. Personally, I've been in those meetings where it's always been personal. I think you look at Zaha, Ivan Toney, Marcus Alonso. They've come away from it. But what I think people are getting frustrated with is the lack of change behind it. So that's what I'm talking about, the substance to it. I think it's necessary because it allows us to have this conversation and we talk about it. And whether you taking the information or not at the start of every game, whether that be BT or Sky, they still mention the ongoing fight against racism. So that is always going to be a great point. But for me, it's like, well, what next? The conversation moves forward in anything, in any discussion you have. So this is my small part really that I can try and help and hopefully cause some some positive change.
I think you're right, because in some places perhaps it could be seen that taking the knee is becoming almost a placeholder for the real issues behind the scenes. You're almost seen to be doing the right thing, but are you actually doing the right thing behind? And with what you're doing, it's the idea that education at a young age creates a little bit more understanding and empathy for each other, right? So that when you get to an older age where you can start really either doing the right thing or the wrong thing in society, you're choosing the right thing because you have a greater understanding of how other people live.
Yeah, and we've visited some schools where it's actually implemented already. So the national curriculum is it's quite widespread, and each school gets to pick their own version of it. But there's a few schools that are actually being diverse right across the board. And we had a chat with two young gentlemen there, and the one was from Eastern Europe and the other one was African. And basically, because the teacher had spoke about, was talking about Ghana as a country and talking about that, because she'd said something in there, they were friends and had never had the conversation. But because the teacher had been able to speak about Ghana, he then felt comfortable to ask questions. and they were both saying that they learnt off each other just because the teacher made it accessible to have that conversation, because the kid felt uncomfortable to talk.
That's so key with what you're saying there, because a lot of the time people feel that they can't do right for doing wrong.
It's an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, they don't want to say the wrong thing, so you avoid it altogether, which actually makes it worse in some situations.
Yeah, and I think the main part with all of it is you're giving people as much information so they can make their own informed decision at the end of it. So if you're giving people a choice from the age of 5 up to year 9, what's that, 13, 14, then you do your options. It's on you then to choose. Yeah. But you're informed and you know what's going on. If you don't really know what's going on within history or in science or whatever it might be, I don't like that lesson. I'll just go and do PE.
I think it's a great thing that you're doing, because I loved history at school. Do you know what I mean? I found it interesting to learn about the past. So that's something that they should implement now. Like you says, learn about the past in Asia, learn about the past in Africa, Jamaica. And I just want to make it
very clear as well. It's not about removing anything.
No.
It's just added to. Yeah. I think that's the response has been great, but the odd bit that you see is like, well, what are we going to do? Remove the Tudors? No. Just add a little bit more. Yep. That's all. And I think when I look at it from from a working class background, how many people are struggling with their kids getting after school care because of the cost of it? So what if we extended the school day by half an hour, 45 minutes? Do you get what I mean? That's an extra lesson you can get in there. And it could do it right across the board. And
but like it says though about the kids learning at that age, they're learning about the past of different cultures. Yeah. I think it's a great idea, mate.
Well, thank you. And I hope just with this little time that you've given me, that you guys will all sign the petition and help me out.
Yeah, we absolutely will. Hey, are you staying on or have you got to shoot off now?
I've got real work to do now.
He's away his real job again.
Yeah, no. But you know what? I will, if you guys will have me, I will definitely come back on.
Of course 100%. We will have you. We'd love that. Well done, because honestly, Troy, this is meaningful stuff, and you're using a great platform that you have.
Like you said there, I think you're using your platform. Do you know what I mean? For something that we believe in, a lot of people believe in. So I think it's a great thing you're doing, mate.
Yeah, that petition as well. It's live now at change.org, isn't it? If we want to find the petition, I think we can put it out on social media as well. So
and I'm going to throw it on mine. So you guys do that. I'm not very good at this social media stuff, but I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it. But just spread the word, read about it. If you don't want to do it, that's your own your own choice. Each to their own. But I just think this is something that we should talk about and move forward.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.